Butterfingered is they start dropping things. They normally those people are not given anything to hold. They are not given anything to hold like glasses or cutlery of say ceramic cutlery and all that, because they may drop things, and this is a typical case of apis where they become butterfingered and they start dropping things. So this is where Dr. Gaikwad brought to my attention. This was brought to my attention from by Dr. Gaikwad, my guru, and then I started realizing what is awkwardness of action. Now, when we talk about EPIS, before I go into EPIS, I'd like to tell you about one very important incident in my life. You must be knowing that the 13th generation of Shivaji Maharaj, one of them stays in Kolhapur. He is known as Shahu Maharaj, the present Shahu Maharaj, who is the Chhatrapati of Kolhapur. Now, this palace, what they have, known as New Palace, it has got a lot of beehives. It has got a lot of beehives. Madachi पोळं म्हणतो आपण त्याला. So there are a lot of beehives and they are all wild bees. So naturally, when they are hanging on the towers of the palace, there can be a lot of incidences where a bee can be circulating in the house also. So once he had a bee sting, and after the bee sting, he there was a swelling, there was a inflammation of that part, burning, stinging pain, and all that. Later on, he applied some cold cream or something like that. He felt better. He felt better. So next time when he got a bee sting, he suddenly developed. He suddenly developed. He suddenly developed what we call spasm in the throat, and he started having stertorous breathing. that type of a breathing he started having, and he was suddenly rushed to the nearby doctor, and they gave him some steroids and all that, some anti-allergics, and that stertorous breathing stopped. So when I being the personal physician to the royal family of Kolhapur, I was also summoned after 2 days when he came back from the hospital, and this story was narrated to me. So naturally, I said, "Sir, Maharaj, you please keep this bottle of Epis with you, and whenever you have a bee sting, you can take a dose of Epis." So since then, he must have had bee sting a couple of times, but every time he had a bee sting, he took a dose of Epis, and he has never fallen sick or he was never admitted afterwards. So why I'm telling you all those things, my dear, is there is a spasm in the throat, similar spasm what you see in diphtheria also. If you see the cases of diphtheria, sometimes you have to do tracheotomy. You have to put a hole here. That is not tracheotomy. So you can breathe because the whole throat, the larynx, they go into edematous swelling. They go into edematous swelling, and then you cannot breathe. The breathing becomes very difficult. So in diphtheria, cases of diphtheria where the larynx goes into a spasm, EPIS was thought of in the olden days. It was thought before, I mean, the vaccine for diphtheria has come in now. But in olden days, there was no vaccine. And then that time, there used to be a spasm in the throat, and the people could die of diphtheria. A lot of small children used to die in diphtheria, and it is known as stertorous breathing. I don't know if you have seen the movie called um, Anaconda. Have you seen this movie, Anaconda? In that movie, the first series I'm talking about, there are a couple of series of Anaconda, but the first series of Anaconda, there's one person, one character who goes under the ship to break a barrier there, and suddenly he comes out, and he cannot breathe. He cannot breathe. So the villain of that movie, the person who has acted as a villain, he is basically the shipmate, and he takes a pointed object and thrusts it into his throat. We think that he's trying to kill him, but no, he makes a hole here and then he starts breathing. So then when the mouth is opened, there's an insect inside, some poison insect inside, which has caused this spasm of the throat, and the person is having stertorous breathing. Stertorous breathing is when you make a lot of noise while breathing. That type of a sound. You need a lot of efforts to breathe. It is not the breathing of Antimptart where there is a rattling in the chest, and the breathing you can see here the bubbles or the rattling in the chest, and in Antimptart is known as death rattling. But this is stertorous breathing. Now then, again, when we talk about EPIS, remember one thing, my dear friends, that EPIS is having a direct influence on the coverings of our body. The biggest covering of our body is the skin. It has got a direct effect on the skin. Then, whenever there is a skin problem, we think of the main normal skin problem is the allergic skin problem, also known as urticaria. Now, urticaria better by cold application is a typical first line of treatment. I would think of is EPIS with nodular rosy patches of urticaria with intense itching and heat and stinging pain, and better by cold application. So urticaria naturally in the first line of treatment of EPIS by urticaria with better by cold application. Better by cold application. That's very important because EPIS is one of the hottest patients in Mater Medica, like iodum. EPIS is also one of the hottest patients. Even argentum nitricum is a very hot patient because argentum nitricum also likes to have a cold water bath. EPIS also likes to have a cold water bath, and iodum also likes to have a cold water bath. So here, EPIS, if a child with fever, EPIS fever, is given a hot water bath, he can go into convulsions. So you cannot give him a hot sponging. So what we say is sponging of with hot water or warm water. He has to be given a cold water sponging. So in the olden days, by our grandma's time, whenever a child used to have fever, they used to give him cold. They used to put this something on the forehead. The thanda paneja patya, we Marathi call it. They used to put this thanda paneja patya and clean the body with cold water. So that was their treatment, probably to bring down the fever, or the fever should not go into the head. So here, the skin is the biggest covering of our body, and EPIS, I have given EPIS, including in herpes, I have given EPIS, urticaria, I have given EPIS. As far as the patient feels better by cold application, that is one of the major modality we think of as EPIS is better by cold application. It cannot be better by warm application. Then EPIS is contraindicated. If it is better by warm application, EPIS is contraindicated. It is not there. Then the coverings of the brain. In the brain, we have got a covering called meninges. And whenever this meninges they get inflamed, it is known as meningitis. And whenever there is a meningitis, EPIS is having a brain cry. Now, what is a brain cry? See, whenever we are hurt, we say Aiga, Ari Baba, or whatever it is. Huh? So whenever there's a big hurt, we say Bapre, 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 we call it, or we remember the father. When there's a small hurt, we remember the mother. But whenever there's intense pain, you may shout with the pain, of course. But in EPIS, we call it the brain cry. And what is a brain cry? Brain cry is a cry which is emitted from the brain, especially in meningitis with convulsions. And how is the brain cry? I have had a couple of occasions where I have heard the brain cry because my father used to have a hospital, 90-bedded private hospital. And that time, whenever the cases of meningitis were admitted, I heard brain cry, but I never, only in one case I gave EPIS. Before that, I never realized that EPIS was a remedy for that. So here, the brain cry is something like this. It is you feel as if it is coming out of the brain. It is not coming out of the throat, but it is coming out of the brain. It is known as brain cramp. Then further down, we see the swelling of the eyelids, especially the lower eyelid, where there is a bag-like swelling under the eyelids. The bag-like swelling under the eyelids. Though if this is a right-sided patient, but I have treated quite successful patients with the left-sided swelling of the. It is edematous swelling of the eyelids. The eye remains swollen. Then have you heard about something called glaucoma? You must have. Glaucoma is the increased tension in the ocular region or in the eyes. Epis is one of the finest remedies for glaucoma. Whenever there is a increased tension in the eyes, and then you have some cloudy vision or half vision in front of the eyes, we can think of Epis, because as far as the eye is better by cold application and worse by warm application. Then, if you see the throat, as I told you, the uvula, what we see whenever we drink water, it closes the air passage, and whenever we breathe, it opens, it closes the uvula, which hangs in the between. When you open the mouth, you see one uvula hanging down, and that is nothing. Then it is having the typical edematous swelling of the uvula. We can think of herpes, but when we talk about the coverings of the body, the first was the skin, second was the meninges we talked about, third is the pericardium. Pericardium, the covering of the heart. In heart, we can in the heart we have the covering of the heart, where coverings of the heart, where the heart is affected. There is pericarditis, we call it, and then again we think of his epis because it is a covering of the heart. Then the pleura. Have you heard about pleuritis? Pleuritis, or you must have heard about also you must have heard about the uh, in high altitude you get pleural effusion. In high altitude you get pleural effusion. Now, pleural effusion is where, because of the less of oxygen and the lungs under strain, they can start infusion, and then he has to be the only treatment for a pleural effusion is he has to be evacuated by the helicopter to suddenly a lower altitude if he is about 12,000, 15,000 feet. So, because at the height of that, the rarity of the oxygen is there, and because of pleural effusion, he has to be brought down. But in case you do carry a piece, because which I always carry in my trekking kit, because I go for trekking regularly, and Epis is one of the medicines which I always carry, because you don't know which insect is going to bite you, and whenever there's an insect bite, with stinging pain and swelling, Epis has done wonders in my own practice. But it is one of the kits in my trekking. It is in my trekking kit. Epis has to be there. Epis cannot be replaced. Then the pleural effusion, or what we say uh, in the lungs, the covering of the lungs is pleura, and whenever there is effusion, we think of Epis. Then we come down again to the abdomen. In abdomen, the peritoneum covers the whole of the abdominal contents, and whenever the peritoneum is inflamed, we see ascites. In ascites, we see ascites. There is a lot of fluid collection in the body. So this can be due to, of course, the right-sided organ, which is known as the liver. Because the liver, there can be ascites, and then again, where we have some infection in the abdominal cavity where it can cause ascites, and there's a lot of fluid collection. So the classic treatment in the modern medicine can be tapping off of the fluid. They draw the fluid out, but this can this can lead to low blood pressure. But Epis has got a tendency of losing whatever the swelling is. Whenever there is a swelling is, if you give Epis, you'll find a person having a lot of urination. Because if you see FS, in FS we have dribbling of urination. Dribbling of urination. Now, why dribbling of urination? Because the urine production reduces. That's why the swelling is there. So, what do they do? In the modern medicine, they give you laxatives, Lasix, not laxatives, Lasix. They give you Lasix, and with Lasix you start urinating and throwing away the fluids out. But here with EPIS, we can induce the flow of the urine, because I have seen in newborn, as I told you, I was to work with my father in a hospital. So as newborns, sometimes they just cannot pass the urine, or they don't have that sensation of passing the urine, and they can be distended bladder in the newborn, and this newborns had sometimes had to be catheterized. Catheter can give rise to, infection, because urine infection is normally difficult to treat. The most easy infection to treat, they say, is any skin infection, but when it's urine infection, it is difficult. But with EPIS, you give EPIS in distended bladder, and the person will start urinating. They will open up the urinary sphincters and will start urinating. So this is in newborn people, children, where the bladder may be distended if it doesn't pass the urine. Then EPIS, I have got excellent results in renal failures. In renal failures, I got excellent results with swelling. It can be generalized swelling, it can be swelling under the eyelids, or it can be swelling in the lower limbs. So whenever there is swelling, and if it is better by cold application, he is a hot patient. So you think of EPIS, because EPIS is basically to uh, throw away, give away the urine. Then in you must have heard about PCOD. Now, what is PCOD? The long form is PCOD.
Polycystic ovarian
Polycystic
disease.
ovarian disease.
That's right. Polycystic ovarian disease. Now, what is cyst? Cyst is nothing but fluid. Cysts are nothing but fluid, and there are polycystic ovaries. The ovaries become polycystic. So here again, the fluid collection is there, and in the PCOD patients, some patients have, there is a typical symptom of herpes where menses only for 1 day or menses only for 1 hour, and these cases can turn out to be PCODs. And whenever you herpes, this polycystic. See, I'm not talking in generalized terms that every PCOD patient will need herpes, but as far as she is a hot patient and she is her menstruation is 1 hour menstruation. I mean, that is two scantier menses. 1 hour menstruation is two scantier menses. And then she keeps on putting on fluid, and she keeps on bloating. She says, if I had proper menses, I won't have this generalized swelling. So here it can really do wonders with EPIS, and where the polycystic ovarian disease, as you said, rightly said, that with 1 hour menses, I'm talking 1 hour or maximum 1 day, not more than that. It is always scanty and very scanty, where always a scanty menses which you have in EPIS. Then, if you see in testes of males, we have the hydrocele. Hydrocele, because of some inflammation of the in the scrotum, you can have hydrocele, and sometimes the whole scrotum can increase. The size can increase quite substantial, where it may not be able to hold it in your undergarments. So there you have to have some support for that, for the hydrocele, because the scrotum becomes very big. In one of the cases where we see in filariasis also, EPIS can be thought of if there is stinging and burning, and better by cold application, where there is a swelling all over. Because filariasis is when the lymph returns, the lymph nodes are obstructed because of the filariasis, and then the limb starts swelling. And same can happen in the Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
No, there's some sound and I have muted the whole thing, and still, why that sound is coming? So then, in pylorus also we think of FS. In hydrocele we can think of FS. And the menses, as I told you, are very, very important, where the menses are very scanty. It can be 1 hour up to 1 day. And of course, that is one of the main symptoms of PCOD, where the person, that lady, she doesn't get proper menses. And when she doesn't get proper menses, it is very difficult for her to remain pregnant, because pregnancy, the whole process of pregnancy depends on normal menses. So here we have the PCOD, one of the reasons where this can be acting. So now, where are we heading? We are heading again towards. We are talking about the renal failure. In renal failure, you'll find there's a lot of generalized swelling, or they can be swelling under the eyelids, or they can be swelling. This is trios of swelling. The whole face, it is phosphorus. Upper eyelids is Kalicar, and lower eyelids is Epis. Then Epis is also a classical right-sided remedy, where 3 triads of right-sided remedies: Epis, then Causticum, Epis, Causticum, and Lycopodium. These are all 3 right-sided remedies, where most of the problems may begin in the right and go to the left. May begin the right and go to the left. So here, not necessary again, but most of them start from the right and go to the left. So here there are 3 classical right side remedies, and if you see in Epis, mind it, it's a very hot patient. A child can go into convulsions if it's given a warm bath, and the thirst of Epis, it is normally thirstless. Normally thirstless, except there's one exception in the thirst, except in a high fever. Except in a high fever, it's normally thirstless. And febrile convulsions, better by cold application and worse by warm application. If you wrap the child up warmly during fever, he can go into convulsions. But if you open up the blankets and all that, keep him without any covers, he may prevent it. It may prevent convulsions. It may prevent convulsions, and Epis again is a remedy for febrile convulsions instead of Epis is one of the remedies for febrile convulsions. So now I think I have almost covered your main clinical features of Epis, and we can go in for question and answers. Or the mute च कुठे गेलो ते unmute कुठे गेलं. Where is that unmute? Mute is है. चालू है. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
ladies and gentlemen. Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Continue, please.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Haji?
Yes.
Haji, any questions? Any questions? No questions at all. अरे ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? Either you are not understood, or either you are not following, or either I am not clear. What is the reason for that? कुछ तो पूछिए यार.
Sir, it can be given for any glaucoma case, Epis, or it should be
So
hot and
I
thirstless.
again told you, pain in the eyes better by cold application. The modality is very important, ma'am. Yeah. Modality is very, very important. in EPIS where if you don't follow the modality, you can miss EPIS in a very with a wide margin.
But sir, if patient doesn't have pain in eyes, no symptoms, just glaucoma, then
See if he is likes cold climate. See if he is thirstless. See if his urine is scanty. There are a lot of other parameters where you can think of EPIS.
okay.
And ask that patient whenever she or he has a mosquito bite, how does she react? Some people have a mosquito bite and they don't feel it. Some people get a
Mhm.
sudden swelling in that part with scratching.
Mhm.
So there are
Okay.
other parameters you can apply and then come down to glaucoma, because as I told you, it is having a direct action on the coverings of the body. So wherever there is a covering for any organ also, and if that organ is affected, that covering is affected of that organ, you can think of.
Okay.
Any
Sir,
more
after
questions?
mosquito bite, sometimes pigmentation remains on skin
So
after.
that's what I'm saying. If the mosquito bite is better by cold application. If she says that whenever I apply some cream, if I apply what do you call those creams are called here? Some cold
Aloe
cream
vera.
or something like that. Whenever I apply cold cream, I feel better. Nothing wrong in thinking of herpes. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Shall we end it? Shall we end it?
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Pranav.
Hello.
Yeah. Please.
Hello.
हाँ बोलो मैं सुन रहा हूँ. Pranav, I'm listening to you.
Nitromur is complementary to EPIS. How do we correlate?
Nitromur is complementary to EPIS. It must be because of the mentals. EPIS also has got a lot of suppression. EPIS suppresses his mental desire. As I told you, young girls, early widows, go careful. What is Nitromur? Nitromur is also suppressions. So with this, she's suppressing her sexual desire. Nitromur suppresses everything. So we can correlate Nitromur with the mentals of EPIS. Why not? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Shall we end? Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.